Hello random humans, welcome to Random Garage, the channel where we're always doing something.
Bing bing bam dam ma ma ba ba ma 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 da ma me ma da ma 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 ba ba ma 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 da ma me ma da ma ma.
What's going on?
Ding ding.
Today we have a little truck maintenance to do. This here 2016 Ford F-150 with 2.7 liter Ecoboost engine. It's due for an oil change, tire rotation, and got to install the new registration sticker on the license plate, and also vacuum out the passenger seat because I had to take one of the dogs to the vet yesterday and he shed it all over the place. Under the truck here, might be a little dark, but first of all, we have to get rid of this soft panel here underneath. Take that off so we can access the oil drain plug. There's four small screws holding it on in the corners. They require a 8mm socket. So got that set up here on the power gun, and we're going to spin those screws out real quick. This is actually one of the most convenient vehicles to do an oil change on because this plug here is really simple. It's just like a quarter turn and it pops out. It's got O-rings behind it rather than the screw-in style plug that's most commonly seen. And then we'll see when we get up on the top side also that the filter is accessed from the top of the engine. It's not like a screw-on canister. It's just a there's a housing and then there's a paper filter element that goes inside of that. Super easy. Pretty clean job, goes pretty quick. Drain pan into position. And it can be a little hard to get started, so I use pliers to get it moving a little bit. Twist it, wiggle it, pop it out, and made a little mess, like usual. I got the oil plug here. I'm just going to, while the oil's draining, clean it up a little bit in the parts washer and then go rinse it off in the kitchen sink. Just to make it clean. Good enough. On the top side for the filter, this housing right here has the filter inside of it. That big hex on top. Sure, it's a metric size, but I don't have anything big metric, so inch and a 16th socket fits that nice. And we'll just take her loose. The one pain in the butt about this though is it's hard to not drip oil other places of the engine when taking it out of here. So get the cover off of there. And we just pull out this filter. Little wiggle. There, popped it loose. It's dripping oil. And that is garbage. Clean that up just a little bit. Better look at the housing that it just took off. I'm going to I'll take that over to the parts washer and clean that up. Since I got some water in there in the sink, let's take the air hose here and blow it out a little bit. The new filter kit here comes with new O-rings for the housing. The two big ones are pretty easy to replace, but that middle one can be kind of a pain in the butt sometimes. Now for the pain. The main reason I wanted to clean this thing up really good was for this O-ring, because if there's any oil on here, because then your fingers are slippery, it's almost impossible to get this O-ring to roll down into place. Ah, okay, got it. Now the new filter. Doesn't matter which way it goes. Just that in there, it kind of snaps down in the bottom. And then just go insert this back in the truck. Make sure I'm centered and it's going in the right place. There it goes. Kind of loosely tighten it first. So just snug that up. Don't want to crank it too tight and break it. Owner's manual doesn't have a torque spec on it, so just snug it up. Now going back underneath, it's still dripping a little bit, but that's all right. Just wipe it off a little around the hole there. Then put that plug back in, twist it till it locks. There, that's it. It's locked. There's a little wipe, and that part's done. Just got to put that cover back on, and we're done underneath the truck. Now we'll just pull the fill cap out and dump 6 quarts of oil into this thing. The truck takes 5W30. I put AMSOIL in everything, have for years, at least 15 years. that's that. So the only thing left then is to reset the oil life minder. Turn the truck on, but not start it. Or maybe you can do it with it running. I can't remember, but go over there, display mode, percent oil life, says hold OK to reset. So the OK button, just hold that down and good to go, 100%. Now for the tire rotation, there's a diagram here in the manual that shows that the rear wheels go straight forward to the front and the fronts cross over to the opposite side to go into rear position. I'm going to start with this front right tire, so this one will come off and it'll go to the left rear. So we'll get the jack under here. Lift right on the frame rail. There's an arrow right there that's cut into the frame, showing that that's the jack point. Lift it up just enough so the tire is just barely off the ground. Just for safety, throw a jack stand under here too. Never trust a hydraulic jack. The hydraulics could fail on it at any time, drop the truck down. I'm not going to be under there, so it wouldn't matter as far as my safety, but I don't want to drop the truck onto the brake disc and screw that up when the tire is not on there. This one will go around, as I said, to the left rear. As long as the wheel's off, then you always check the brake pads, see how thick they are. I expect that these are still going to be almost like new because there's only 25,000 miles on the truck. All highway. Pads are still nice and thick. Right there is the pad. It's about 5/16 of an inch thick. That's the inner one. Outer pad can be seen by looking in the front, and you can see it there pressed up against the rotor, and there too, plenty of thickness on it. Now to jack up the rear, I just lift the whole thing all at once. I lift underneath the differential. You're not supposed to do that, but everybody does. Jack stand for safety. That rear one I just rolled up to the front because it's going straight forward. Left rear goes up to the left front. Check the brakes. The inside rear pad is getting pretty thin. It's going to be added to the to-do list. Probably change it in maybe another 5,000 miles. Here's the tire that came off the right front. Oof. Heavy. start them by hand. Make sure they don't get cross-threaded. Now I'll just snug them up with the impact. Then after all four are done, then I'll let the truck all down and come back around with the torque wrench and torque all the lug nuts to spec. This left front will go around to the right rear. The tire that came off the left rear. That one goes to the final position, back to the front right. That kind of stinks. This inner pad is in a lot better condition than the inner pad on the left rear. But I'm gonna have to change them together anyway. That's the way it's done. Torque spec on these lug nuts is 150 foot-pounds, which is as high as my torque wrench goes. Apparently forgot to tighten that one. Tire rotation done. What's next? Put that registration sticker on the rear license plate. Soapy water, a little bit, get the dirt off of there. All right, legal for another year. I just got to vacuum this thing out a little bit. Like I said, dog hairs everywhere. If you want to see more random garage things, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and whack that notification bell so that you get random notifications when a new random garage video is posted. Thanks for watching, and whatever you do, make sure you're always doing something.
Bing,